All right, add President Obama to the list of Democrats now linked to the Trump-Russia dossier. We just learned his campaign shelled out nearly $1 million to the law firm that secretly paid Fusion GPS in 2016. So, does this threaten the credibility of the Russia collusion investigation as it gets more interesting this week? Here now to debate, spokesperson for America First Policies, Katrina Pierson, and Democratic strategist Mustafa Tamiz. Guys, thanks so much. We got a lot to talk about, so let's try to keep the answers at least somewhat abbreviated. But Katrina, I'm going to start with you. Does this threaten the credibility? Does it kind of throw a shadow on it?
Well, not only does it threaten the credibility, Rob, this is unethical and potentially criminal. Here we're talking about the sitting president of the United States whose own campaign is using its resources to fund a defamatory smear campaign against a political opponent, and to take that further, potentially used it and then pushed it to the taxpayer-funded law agencies in order to prosecute said political opponent. There's only one thing that needs to be done here, and that is a probe needs to be opened to find out exactly what happened while President Obama was in office with regards to everything they did to the Trump campaign staff.
Mustafa, over to you. Democrats will just say this is a deflection, which we've heard a lot of, but it still stinks a little bit, doesn't it? You have to admit that.
Well, this is a manufactured controversy that was debunked years ago. We keep bringing it up because there are no good answers as to why so many members of the Trump campaign were meeting with Russians before, after, and during the campaign. And so they can't come up with those answers. This is just a way of deflection, just like you said.
Well, okay, but I mean, you don't think that there's something wrong with, using Russian sources to create a dossier against your opponent? I mean, what is the difference really between that and some of the things that the Republicans are accused of?
Opposition research is done in campaigns all the time. Both sides do it all the time. But at the end, the content of the dossier is not being questioned. What's being questioned is how it was funded. I just find that highly unusual that at a time that number of Trump officials met with Russians, number of Trump officials were paid by the Russians. That should be the question that we're asking, because at the end of the day, we know that Russia is our sworn enemy.
Katrina,
and if they continue to do this and affect our election, it's a real problem.
Just because you keep saying the same thing doesn't make it true. I mean, we do know that Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and her entire campaign did collude with the Russians. But what's more important here, though, is the simple fact that there is some interesting connections, considering like Neil King, for example, who works for Fusion GPS. His wife reported directly to President Obama as his senior advisor at the exact same time. So we do need to know who funded these things, because the author of the dossier said that these are all uncorroborated anyway.
Real quick, Katrina, I mean, remember how crazy the Democrats went when they found out about the Donald Trump Jr. meeting. I mean, what is the difference? I mean, if it's just, I mean, they went crazy over that story. That was the whole big smoking gun that they were looking for. Now we have the same kind of conduct by the Democrats.
Well, no, this is a different kind of
conduct,
not the same
Rob.
Kind of conduct. It's absolutely
how is it not? Yeah. Mustafa, I want to get that from you. How is it? It's opposition research, right? Just like you just said.
No, that was a direct outreach from the Russian government saying that they had dirt on the opposition side, coming directly from the Russian government. That's highly, highly unusual. A number of people were asked, would they ever take information coming from the Russian government? Everybody has said no, because that's a crime. So you're conflating a crime to something that House opposition research got paid. It makes no complete sense. It's a manufactured controversy to deflect it, and Katrina knows it, and I know it.
Okay, well, that's an opinion, and I can respect that.
Then the DNC and the Clinton campaign and everyone connected would not be lying about their role and having
exactly
no idea
what I was just going to say. Why lie? If it's clean,
you
why
know
lie?
That's not true, and you know this is a manufactured controversy.
Okay,
this is a manufactured controversy.
Let me get back in control here for a second.
Over again.
Mustafa, real quick. Let me just ask you a couple questions. Let's just go back to clean slate here. Can you tell me why in the world the Russians would want to put $140 million into the Clinton Foundation? With all the foundations in the world, why would they donate that much money? Why would they pay Bill Clinton 3 times his speaking fee to go over there and talk to them and then meet with the president, with Vladimir Putin? Just answer that question. Give me a logical reason why that would ever happen.
I'll give you a very logical reason. First, that's been debunked a number of times.
Wait,
Second,
you can't give me an
paying speaker fees for anybody. Look, you have. It's been debunked a number of times. We keep bringing stuff up that we know it's not true anymore. At some point, we're going to have to start getting out of alternative facts and talk about reality.
It's not true.
We're going.
It's not true.
Because if something didn't happen, if something that didn't happen, it can't be answered. Look, at the end of the day, the questions that have to be asked are: why is Donald Trump Jr. meeting with Russians? Why is Paul Manafort paid over $60 million by close allies?
And I agree with you. What I'm saying is it's both sides. I'm not debating that. I know the Russia investigation stinks. I know Manafort stinks. I get that.
There was not a single penny exchange from any bank in Russia to anyone on the Trump campaign.
Campaign manager.
All right, guys, he was
the campaign manager.
We got to cut this off.
And
we got to go
paid by the Russians.
Thank you for a very beautiful little panel here this morning. Thank you so much. Happy Monday. All right.
Thank you.
Good morning.